you all for being here tonight, and thank you for helping us celebrate the wonderful job we've done, that I think so many people have done with Fourth Ward Cottage. And I want to thank Bill Baldwin especially for hosting this beautiful event tonight. This is really special, fantastic food. If you haven't already had that, go and have something. The Fourth Ward Cottage is the last remaining example of a working man's cottage, the last house of this size and of this type in the Fourth Ward. You know, you've always heard the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, Fourth Ward is our child. Fourth Ward Cottage is our child. And this has certainly been a huge village that has helped make this happen. When we first acquired the house, it was really kind of like a sad little orphan child. It was having to move from the place that it had called home for over 100 years, and its future was uncertain. Historic Houston helped us identify the building and helped us get it moved here. Cherry Moving Company, Cherry House Moving, I think is their official name, our favorite mover, brought it here to the park several years ago. And for the first few years that it sat here, it really was still kind of neglected. It was put in a safe place so nothing would happen to it, but it just kind of sat there while we marshaled our resources in terms of knowledge as well as our financial resources to do what needed to be done for this house. And finally, after several years, we have this wonderful project here. And I'm going to have to read some of this because there are so many people to thank that I don't want to leave anybody out. First of all, I want to thank Historic Houston for helping identify the house, because this was with some other houses in Fourth Ward, and it was going to be moved because development was coming in, and it would have just been lost, like so many houses, so many buildings in Houston have been lost. And of course, Cherry Moving Company, who moved it not just once, but then again later on, they moved it twice. The Heritage Society's Building Committee, which is composed of board members and volunteers, people from the architectural field and building and engineering field, have been tremendously helpful in making this all happen. And Randy Pace, who I don't think is here tonight, when we first acquired the house, he was still, I think, with the City Preservation Office. He is an amazing researcher, and he had researched this house, and he knew and knows just about everything there is. Betty will agree with me. He knows everything there is to know about that. So it just took a lot of planning to research what had happened to this house and how it came to be what it is today. So I want to thank all of those people. The city's General Service Department managed the logistics for moving the house the second time. We had kind of parked it over there across from Nichols Rice Cherry just to have it in a safe place. And when the San Houston Park Master Plan was done, it was moved to its current location, and the city General Services did that, and they did a wonderful job, and Cherry Moving Company again did a wonderful job. Funding for the exterior restoration was provided by the Downtown Redevelopment Authority, TERS number 3. See why I have to read this. The Houston Galveston Area Council also contributed that. Broman Design and Construction was the exterior preservation contractor. And the Bromans are here. Wave your hand so we can all tell you thank you. Paul Golub Roofing installed the cedar shingle roof. C.W. Zernak Works milled the Sinker Cypress siding. I had never heard of Sinker Cypress. And Sinker Cypress siding is hard to say, especially when you've had a glass of wine. So. But it is something that is going to last and be perfect for this house. What we're really excited about with Fourth Ward Cottage is its interpretation. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without help from other people. Boulevard Realty, Bill Baldwin. Yay! Howard and Phyllis Epps, Phyllis Griffin Epps. All of these people have contributed, and Phyllis is here. Where is she? There she is. So they contributed to do the interior restoration, to get us ready for the interpretation of the house. And this interpretation is entirely different than anything the Heritage Society has ever done. And it's really, it's getting rave reviews, because we've always just restored a house and, you know, put another bedroom or another whatever in there. And this is so fascinating because it's such an interesting interpretation of how the house was built. Source Historical Services conducted paint and materials analysis to help determine the evolution of the cottage, because this, if you've been in there, you've learned that this has been two buildings that were put together. Smart Multimedia Incorporated provided HDS scanning of the interior for documentation and research. Hunt and Hunt Engineering provided electrical drawings, and Houston Parks and Recreation Department, our favorite people, their electricians installed the wiring and the lighting. So this enormous village of donors made this possible. All these craftsmen and donors came together to showcase the evolution of this wonderful little Fourth Ward cottage. Its interior reveals its history. It was modified by owners and tenants over well over 100 years. So it's really a monument to the working men class who lived and worked in homes like this in the Fourth Ward. So I would also like to acknowledge now Emily Ardwan. Here she is. Emily, raise your hand. She is our wonderful buildings curator who came to us sort of in midstream after this was started and has taken this by the horns and has just done a fantastic job. This is not in my script, but her father built some of the display cases in here, so I mean, this girl is devoted to this. So, but thank you to all of you who've been involved in this wonderful project. So, and I'd like to now turn it over to Bill Baldwin, our wonderful, generous host tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to, on behalf of our staff and our agents and our clients that make our business possible, I want to thank you for coming out this evening and sharing part of Houston's historic heritage with one another. Boulevard Realty is proud of Houston. We're proud of all of our neighborhoods, and we're proud of what's happening throughout the entire city with our infrastructure and our safety and our schools and our businesses living in harmony with one another. And Houston is this hidden jewel that's being discovered by people in the suburbs, throughout our state, throughout the nation and the world. And we're proud to be a part of that. Real estate is in an industry that often is criticized because often they say, oh, you make more money if you tear it down and they build something more expensive. And I get the argument. But we have continually been a proponent of saving the treasures within our city. And we continue to promote adaptive reuse of buildings, the continuation of the tools that are available to our city, the Historic Preservation Ordinance, and creating more historic districts. But more importantly, deed restrictions in our neighborhoods, prevailing lot size, prevailing build line. There are many tools within our city to help preserve these neighborhoods. I can't convince someone to go live in that Fourth Ward cottage today. It's very hard for me to get them to do that. And many of the houses are so large and so expensive, it's hard to get people to do that also. It's like Goldilocks. Some are too small, some are too large, and you try and meet your way in the middle. But we can find a way together to save these structures. To save the neighborhoods are more important. Prevailing lot size, deed restrictions. These are things that we are working on a daily basis at Boulevard Realty because we want stronger neighborhoods, which promotes sense of community, which builds a better city. And we're committed to that. And we're proud of our partnership with the Heritage Society. And we're just getting started with you guys.
I hope.
We love the SIP series. We love the lectures. We love the ability to promote not just this park and coming here, which is this beautiful, beautiful experience for people in our neighborhood, but it's what it stands for. Saving treasures, embracing the past, seeing how important the past will be to our future. It keeps us grounded. It keeps us as neighbors. Porches are one of the best things we can build in our houses, because it teaches us to reach across and know our neighbor, and knowing your neighbor will build better neighborhoods. And we are committed to that at Boulevard Realty. We put our money there, we put our time there, we put our effort there, and we're just getting started in what we're doing of building these neighborhoods. Looking to the near north side, looking to the east side, re-looking again at places that people have written off. They're here, they're within our grasp, and we can save them together. If we'll work together, we're going to lose some buildings, and we won't like everything that's built in its place. But if we work together, you can accomplish more than if you point fingers and only complain. Let's build better neighborhoods. Let's build a better city, and let's do it together. And that's our commitment to Boulevard Realty. And I want to thank you all for coming out this evening. I hope that you get the chance to tour the cottage because it is amazing. I know many of you just arrived or whatever, but I want to thank you all for coming out this evening and know that we're committed to helping your mission. We're committed to exposing what it is that you guys do, not only to our clients, but to people throughout the city, throughout the state, and throughout the world.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.